you always hear as a mark like me that the heel calls the match. How true is that and why is that?
Well, it was true except when it wasn't. And now I think it's a combined effort for everybody to be able to remember this shit, that they sit down and go over for hours or have written out or have talked about on the phone for days or whatever. So they're all reminding each other. But in the tradition in the territories was that the heel called the match because that way the heel could control the tempo and the flow of the thing. The heel, it's easier for the heel to be calling the match for the baby face to control the overall deal, and also especially because in a lot of cases the heel is doing more for getting the baby face over during his heat than maybe even the spots that he calls at the start of the match to shine the baby face. If the heel is kicking the shit out of the baby face, not giving him room to breathe, goozling him, keeping him down, riding him, just not giving him hope spots, then he's just beating the shit out of this fucking guy. But if the heel is constantly having the baby face fight back or giving him hope spots or registering that the baby face, even while he's down, is more than the fucking heel gave him credit for, that subliminally gets the baby face over more, even depending on what the finish is. So that was a thing. And then, but there was exceptions to that, obviously. If there was a wide disparity in experience, or if the baby face was the star and the heel was a preliminary guy, but a lot of Flair would get with George South sometimes on TV and say, "You call it, whatever the fuck," right? But and then also Lawler in Memphis, even especially as a babyface, was going to call the match because he was, as Nick Bockwinkel said one time, one of the most brilliant ring generals he'd ever been in a ring with. He just knew psychology, knew when to bring it up, when to take it down, when to shine the baby face, but when to cut him off, when to, as the baby face, when he should fire back and stay alive, the whole flow of the thing. And then timing on finishes. But nevertheless, so yeah, but with Hercules Hernandez at that point, had probably been in the business not even 3 full years. And, he said, okay, Sonny, he's the fucking baby face. He can call the way that we're going to cut him off, right? It's not like that this was shut up and let me talk. But he was going with it, I guess, because at the time, Herc was kind of new, and also he's like, what the fuck? I don't care.
Were there ever fights over who's calling a match?
Every once in a while, sort of like the fucking story I told you at the time, Ernie Ladd got, I think it was Dr. Death in the corner and said, just calm down and listen to me. He just he turned his back on him, sandwiched him in the corner, grabbed the top rope, and we're going to stay here until you calm down and listen to me. Every once in a while, somebody will pipe in with a suggestion. Who's calling this match? Just hold on. But, it doesn't generally, or it didn't generally escalate into any kind of violence in the ring. And you could tell when guys got on different pages, and that's when the matches fell apart because they didn't like what was going on or didn't trust each other or whatever. And then that's when you got most of the time it didn't happen in the ring. It was in the locker room afterwards when you got those deals going on. Tojo Yamamoto and Dandy Jack Donovan in Louisville. They just, started going for each other's eyes because there was not a lot of cooperation.
Well,
what were we talking about?
We were talking about a variety of things, from Damian Priest to Sonny King to heels calling the match.
Yes. And that was
and now there are no heels. I guess that's why the match is up for grabs, whoever wants it.
Well, and that's it's a collaboration now, but there was no ability to sit down with your opponent in 75% of the arenas the way they were set up and the way that the promoters did business in most territories, to sit down and talk over your match. So you got the finish from the booker or the referee or the booker's assistant, representative, whatever. And then you'd send, oh, yeah, well, tell him when I swing the fucking cleaver, make sure he ducks because I'm left-handed or whatever. Anything that needed to be clarified to make sure everybody understood what was going on, they would hopefully carry the message back over the other side. And then you did it in the ring, but you called everything up to that point in the ring as it was going on, and you couldn't have, both guys just doing shit back and forth at random, say, I'll do this now, because that wouldn't have made any fucking sense. And even with a lot of tag teams, Dennis and Bobby, the Midnight Express, when they first got together, Dennis was calling the match, and Dennis was kind of calling a lot of the stuff Bobby was doing, because that's the thing. If you're a good tag team, if I'm the heel and I've just planted the fucking baby face and I turn around and tag my partner as he's getting in and I'm getting out, I'm either going to tell him what to do to that guy or what that guy's about to do to him. In other words, if the baby face is going to pop up during that switch and take an arm drag the new heel coming in, then when I tag my partner, as he steps by me, I say, arm drag. And he knows that the baby face is going to spin under him and boom, and things like that. So you're calling for the other guy also.